This one is for goalies who have strained their groin in the past and would not like to do it again, because it is not fun. It is a pre-skate warm-up that you can use before you hit the ice if you have strained your groin in the past. So today this warm-up is for goalies who have strained their groin in the past and don't wish to go down that road again, or at least want to minimize their chances of doing it again. This is a quick 10-minute pre-skate warm-up. You don't just use this before games. You don't just use this before big games. You use it before you go on the ice every single time. Let me show you exactly what I got. So I'm not going to go over the science of how groin strains occur and the exact off-ice training that you need to do to minimize your risk of getting a groin strain. If you want me to do that, I'm happy to. Just leave a comment below asking and I'll put that together for you. Make sure you also subscribe so when I do make that video, you see it. If you haven't strained your groin, woohoo, that's a bonus. This video isn't actually for you. I've done other videos on dynamic warm-ups. I'll try to remember to put a link in the comments, but if not, just go to Goalie Training Pro TV and search warm-up. But this one is for those of you who have strained your groin in the past. And we're going to start with a little bit of self-myofascial release. Now, keep in mind, I'm trying to keep this quick and super simple. So, are there other things that I do, the goalies that I train, are there other things we do? Yes, but this is a great place to start. So we're gonna get the foam roll first and do a little self-myofascial release down on the turf. When you do your self-myofascial release before you get on the ice, I think a foam roll is a good tool. You could also use a lacrosse ball, but I want something that's fairly gentle. Plus, it's pretty hard to get in on your adductors or your groins with the lacrosse ball when you're at the rink. So, you know, but use whatever you have. We're also not just going to focus on your adductors because there are different muscles that can be involved and that can kind of set you up for a groin strain, or even we're even going to sort of hedge our bets a little bit to try and reduce the risk of a hip flexor strain as well. So we're going to start just with our hamstrings. So we'll get up on the foam roller, and keep in mind your hamstrings is sort of a group of 3 different muscles that go, from the outside, middle, and to the inside of the back of your leg. So we want to get all those areas. So I usually kind of break it up into the lower third, the middle third, and the upper third. But you want to get the outside aspect. You want to get the middle coming right up to kind of your sit bone where those hamstrings originate. And then you also want to get the inside portion of the hamstrings. From there, we can move on to our adductors. So this is more what you think of with your groins. And again, I like to just split it into the middle third, or the distal third, the middle third, and the inner third. And I'm even sort of changing the angle of my leg, so rotating my hip internally, rotating it externally, to try and get all those surfaces, because again, it's not just one groin muscle, there's a whole bunch in there. So I'm going to spend about 30 to 60 seconds on each side for each of those areas. I think it's not a bad idea. This will be a little bonus tip, but you could also get in there and just get a little bit sort of the front of your hip and your hip flexor as a bit of a bonus. From there, we're going to work hip internal rotation, not so much as an injury reduction strategy, but just to help you loosen your hips so you can get into your butterfly. So just a little performance enhancement one. Keeping a nice neutral pelvis position, keeping our feet on the floor, and just pinching our knees in a bit, holding for about 3 seconds, doing 10 repetitions. I'm not forcing my knees together. I'm just applying a little bit of overpressure so I feel a very gentle stretch kind of deep inside my hips. From there, we'll get back on to more of the groin specific stuff, and we're going to do a half kneeling groin with rock back. So we're going to get into this position and keep a nice neutral back as we just sit back in our hips and come forward. We're going to sit back in our hips and come forward. So it's pretty controlled pace. And we're not, again, trying to go so far that it's uncomfortable or painful. We're just trying to explore our range of motion. So we'll do about 6 to 10 on this side, and then we'll switch and do about 6 to 10 on this side. From there, we're gonna come up into our tall half kneeling position, and we're gonna add an element of rotation. So we're gonna come here, rotate up and away, following our hand with our head. Because a lot of groin strains happen when you're extended and then you make a reach or a movement. So we're gonna add that element. We're gonna do 6 to each side. For this next one, I'm using just a little glider disc because I'm on the turf. But if you're on smooth floor, I do this at home before I go to the rink. I do it on a smooth floor and I just wear my sock foot. But we're gonna do little groiners. So just coming out and back up, just small, quick. And I'm not at my most extended position. I'm just in my comfortable range, but turning on and off those muscles just to get them activated and firing. Plus it also, all these exercises kind of gives me a chance to see, like, how does that feel compared to how it normally feels? Oh, that feels a little tight today. Oh, today my left side actually feels tighter than my right side. Okay, maybe I should spend a little extra time on that. Then we'll take it into standing, getting a little more dynamic. So we're gonna do a high kick, right straight into an inverted reach. And you can just repeat all on one side if you're just sort of tight for space, but just swinging through. So you get some balance, you get some dynamic stretching on your hamstring. You'll do 3 to 4 on each side, and then we'll finish up with a down, back, rotate. So I'm gonna step down, rotate up and away, following my hand with my head, back, rotate, but then a nice big push off this leg. Then I'm gonna come back, down, back, and a big push. So again, I'm getting those diagonal patterns. I'm lengthening my adductors. I'm getting a big push from my legs. Lots of the movement patterns that I need on the ice get incorporated in that final exercise. And you would do 3 to 4 on each side. So not only will this super quick, super simple pre-skate warm-up reduce your risk of re-injuring that groin. And again, if you haven't rehabbed that thing, you know, that's your place to start. But if you've had ones in the past and you've recovered, this is a great way to help reduce your risk of getting another one. But what's going to really surprise you is how good you feel on the ice, how much better you feel that you're moving after spending less than 10 minutes running through these exercises. It's going to make you hungry for more, and it's going to make it part of your regular program. If you still think that stretching is the best way to improve your mobility as a goalie, there's so many more techniques you can use that actually give you the movement that you need on the ice. I don't care how flexible you are in front of the TV when you do it on the floor at home. I want you to be able to move and recover out on the ice. So stretching is not enough. If you have no idea where to start, or you're like, what does she even mean stretching isn't enough? Go download the Butterfly Challenge. Just search in your app store Butterfly Challenge. It's free. Start there. If you've done the Butterfly Challenge, or you actually are really serious about maximizing your performance on the ice, so you're a more serious hockey goalie, then you'll probably want to check out strategicmobilityforgoalies.com. That's more of the pro style mobility program that I put together. To make it easier for you to follow along, I've put a list of all the exercises and how many repetitions to do in the description box below. So do me a favor, actually try it, because it's not going to help unless you actually do it. And don't give a crap if your teammates kind of like are giving you a hard time, because once you go out and stop way more pucks and you stay healthy, they're going to want you to keep doing that. Some of them, even though they're not goalies, are going to probably start doing it too, because they see how much better you're moving. So do that. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see the next video in this series. When you actually try it and get your first shutout, or you shut down those college shooters who are home for the holidays, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know. Otherwise, I will catch you next time.